Knock this man's off. Say he smoking big, but I'll knock a fan off.
Talk about that relationship with you and Julio. Like, he older than you, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a big brother, little brother type shit.
Yeah. I let know. Been around him my whole life. Let's see.
So it is pretty clear that the Foolio-Yungeen palaver is just at the peak of its unveiling, and it is not about to cool off just yet. What that means is, now that Foolio is out of the picture, his affiliates are doing everything possible to go on a spree of revenge, particularly his cousin Kojak.
God work did him the same way. Matter of fact, 2 died on the same day. Hit him with that tape. Blew their brains on the pavement. You can see it in the broad day.
Yungeen Ace, on the other hand, following his several diss tracks after Foolio's death, has not been at rest. From La Crocca's threats to the JSO being on his trail, he has gone totally MIA. The biggest highlight of this is that Foolio's cousin Kojak is just about to be let loose from prison. Kojak and Foolio had such a tight bond.
Talk about that relationship with you and Julio. Like, he older than you, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a big brother, little brother type shit.
Yeah. I let know. Been around him my whole life.
They ran a lot of things together as young kids. Given this, it's easy to understand with the gist making waves around town that Kojak is out for blood. With that said, let's get a little into the details. Back in 2021, Kojak ended up behind bars for gun possession. Now that his prison stint is winding down, he's got a lot on his plate, not the least of which is grappling with the death of his cousin. To him, Foolio was more like a big brother. They'd been tight since they were kids. When Foolio was killed, Kojak shared a poignant photo of the two of them on his social media while still locked up. It's clear he's deeply hurt by his cousin's death and likely itching for revenge against Yungeen Ace, especially after the police confirmed that ATK, Ace's gang, and 1,200 were involved in the fatal attack.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them.
The police records reveal that Isaiah Chance is a known ATK member, while Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy are documented 1,200 gang members. These three were identified as the key players in the deadly plot and were recognized as the shooters.
Put your hands behind your back. Stay there. Stay there. Don't move. Talking. Now turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Is there anybody else inside? Look away. Back up to the sound of my voice. Yep. Stop right there. Lift your shirt up.
Even though these shooters are behind bars, Kojak is convinced that Ace is the mastermind behind it all. Foolio's mom, who has since been in close contact with federal investigators, has said that she was certain that Foolio's murder was a paid hit. Considering Ace's position as the big boss at ATK and his vicious response with 2 back-to-back diss tracks right after Foolio's death, it's easy to see why Kojak suspects him. This whole situation is absolutely wild. From the outside looking in, you might not think Foolio had a major impact on Jacksonville's drill culture. To many folks who aren't from Jacksonville, Foolio might just seem like another rapper. But if you ask people in the city, they'll tell you that Foolio made things pretty intense and even frightening. What's really heartbreaking though is how loved Foolio was and how deeply his loss is affecting the 6th block. At his funeral, you could feel the pain and anger in the air. It was palpable.
Phone calls have stopped and those visits are few. That you need to continue to trust in God because He is the only one that will see you through. May you continue to rely on Him to give you the strength that surpasses all understanding.
Of course, you know the ops had to tune in to the viral moments from the funeral. Not long after, Ace posted a quick video on his story, telling everyone to chill out because he had something new coming. Ace has been busy dropping tracks ever since Foolio was taken out. The first one he released was Do It, followed by Game Over. Then he mentioned he had another track in the works, making it his 3rd release since Foolio's death. Even with all the buzz around Foolio's funeral, Ace teased another drop but hasn't followed through just yet.
Be trying and be hey,
fuck he's at?
These were getting to Foolio's affiliates, which included Kojak. But for Kojak, he cannot do too much from inside the jail. But it is believed that he is keeping track of this and ready to swing hard on the ATK gang. Ace would later go on Instagram Live to distance himself from the murders, claiming that he and Foolio were actually cool before the whole thing went down. Despite Ace's attempts to clear his name, Kojak is determined to get to the bottom of it. After the arrests of the 1,200 and ATK members, Ace made it clear on Instagram that he wasn't afraid of dying or going to jail and warned anyone who wanted to challenge him to bring the same energy.
Julio dying, cuz. That's sad, twin. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all boys in the street, y'all didn't leave the streets alone, twin. All condone and shit. It's so funny, cause me, bro, like, we cool. Like, we was cool and shit. You feel me? Me and him, like, we cool and shit. I was just, so funny, I was just talking to him. I'm like, bro, you gotta stop the way, bro. You know a nigga love you out here. Like, stop the way, real shit. Like, you know how.
As if Foolio's ops have not done enough. Foul Out Sosa, meanwhile, has been particularly disrespectful since Foolio's passing. He made a post saying, "Now his A-word is in the ground, stop with these fake A-word, I'm still alive, posts with them big A-word teeth." He went on to mockingly question, "This S-word so real right now, if you posting bottles of Don Julio, I think you're trolling and you picked our side, ha ha ha, made you this." His disrespect didn't stop there. He even quoted a photo from Foolio's funeral on Instagram with a caption that read, "Amau Kraka, ol fake sad a word, why N-word holding Jake, Rico, and Foolio, like that voodoo done transformed to them birds, now they're flying with Bibby." This was seen as extremely disrespectful by Foolio's crew.
All these niggas be new age gangsters, all these old niggas. They high, not in the city, high, not in the city.
To top it all off, Foul Out Sosa didn't hold back on the mural dedicated to Foolio. He posted, "Laughing my ass off, who the F word is this? Cause this damn show like 6, and added, "Laughing out loud, them is teeth though." He also shared a picture of Lukey Cracker with a laughing emoji, adding another layer of disrespect to the already tense situation. Aside from LaCracka going low-key with his trail to Yungeen, Kojak isn't slowing down either. News have it that he would be released by next month, but what it is about to become of this case is not what anyone is ready for.
Talk about that relationship with you and Julio. Like, he older than you, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a big brother, little brother type shit.
Yeah. Like that, you know. Been around him my whole life.
Foolio had confessed in many videos that Kojak and him grew up together. In fact, they would go about their shenanigans together, from calling out their ops to even releasing tracks together.
He was dissing in them songs, knocked this man's off. Say he smoking baby, I'll knock a fan off.
I remember you was a little nigga around this big thing, you were a little bow around sitting there. What you got coming out now?
I got some hot shit coming on.
Talking about some hot shit.
Just know that. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you got.
One striking truth about this is the fact that Kojak and the ATK group have not been on good terms for a long time. In fact, sometime in the recent past, Kojak had gone live on Instagram with his group of friends to diss the ATK gang. But with Foolio dead, and Kojak's bad history with ATK, things are just about to go south.
They gonna catch you one. Convicted fella got my weapon, I'm still gonna tote my gun. And the Honda people around with that on.
So it turns out that the entire plot was captured on surveillance cameras. Yeah, Foolio's killers were caught in 4K. The whole sinister plan unfolded between June 21st and 23, 2024, and it's like something straight out of a crime thriller. The conspirators, Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, Sean Gathright, Davion Murphy, and Rashad Murphy, were all in on the scheme to carry out a first-degree premeditated murder of Julio Foolio.
Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, Sean Gathright, Davion Murphy, and Rashad Murphy are all accused.
Foolio, a big player in the Jacksonville Street Gang 6 Block or KTA, was in the crosshairs due to ongoing gang tensions. These 5 individuals drove down to Tampa in 2 cars, a silver Chevy Cruze and a black Chevy Impala. Isaiah Chance and his girlfriend Alicia Andrews were in the Cruze, while Gathright drove the Impala, which was registered under his mom's name. Their mission was straightforward: find and eliminate Foolio. As they rolled into Tampa, they started tracking Foolio's whereabouts, which were conveniently posted on his Instagram. Foolio had announced his visits to Teaser's Gentleman's Club and Truth 18 nightclub, making it easy for the conspirators to plan their attack. On June 23rd, Chance and Andrews followed Foolio and his crew to these spots in the Silver Cruise, and every move was caught on camera.
The pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man.
At both locations, Chance and Andrews were seen getting out of the cruise. Chance was spotted using a cell phone. Turns out it was Alicia Andrews' phone. Call records later showed that Andrews was in touch with Sean Gathright, who was in the Black Impala. Chance also had his own phone active near the murder scene, and he was captured on camera wearing a black hoodie with a distinctive red logo. The tension hit its peak when they followed Foolio and his crew to their final stop at the Holmes 2 suite. The Silver Cruise made 2 passes by the parked cars before pulling away, which was the signal for the Black Impala, driven by Gathright and carrying Rashad and Davion Murphy, to move in. They took their positions and opened fire, using a handgun and 2 rifles to take Foolio down. Despite Kojak not yet being released, it looks like Foolio's affiliates are already out in full swing. Just a week after Foolio's murder, things took a shocking turn when another person got caught in the crossfire. The victim was 29 years old Darius Beals, who was shot and killed on the night of June 28th. Around 11 p.m., Beals was hanging out in the parking lot at Laurel Grove Apartments when multiple gunshots were fired at him. The Clay County Sheriff's Office got flooded with emergency calls about the shooting, and deputies were dispatched to the scene right away. Unfortunately, despite their quick response, it was too late. Beals was pronounced dead at the scene. Here's where it gets even more tangled. Beals was the older brother of one of Jacksonville's most notorious shooters, Lul Leak. Lul Leak was part of the 1200 gang, but his life was cut short back in 2020 when he was also shot and killed. Leak had a major beef with Foolio. Their rivalry was quite intense, with Leaky even coming close to killing Foolio's girlfriend at one point. The feud really kicked off after Foolio beat up Leak's homeboy Lil Papa at a Foot Locker store. The whole altercation was caught on camera, showing Foolio and 2 of his crew members ganging up on Lil Papa and laying into him. The beating only stopped when one of Lil Papa's friends came to his aid, causing Foolio and his crew to bolt. It's worth noting that Lil Papa and Foolio had a close relationship and even collaborated on some tracks together.
How does that correlate?
We got songs too. We got songs out on YouTube and shit. But shit, we just got in the, we fought.
But it's not just Leak's older brother Beals who has fallen victim in the wake of Foolio's death. It looks like the violence has spread even to women, though this part is still mostly speculative. Recently, a woman was shot multiple times while sitting in her car on Emerson Street near Spring Glen Road, and there's a strong belief that this incident might be linked to Foolio's death. She was hit with bullets in her arm, leg, and back, and the attackers were relentless and showed no mercy. The woman, now in a critical condition, had no choice but to endure the brutal attack, and is reported to be struggling devastatingly for her life. After the shooting, the perpetrators fled the scene in a black 4-door sedan.
Overnight at 11:10 p.m., a man shot multiple times at an Orange Park apartment complex died.
It's becoming clear that the ongoing feud between KTA and ATK is escalating and now dragging innocent people into the mix. Police reports suggest that women are being used as part of these violent schemes, including setting up friends of Foolio's to get their locations on his birthday. In the shocking part, the entire hit on Foolio was caught on surveillance cameras, so the whole plot was recorded in high definition. This new piece of information has only added fuel to the fire and has put everyone on edge. The gang wars in the rap scene aren't just sending young black men to prison, they're also putting innocent relatives in harm's way. Kojak isn't the only rapper who's lost a cousin due to these violent clashes. The list of people affected just keeps growing, from Zion Malik Brown to Quandorando and Lil Durk. It just doesn't seem to stop. Let's start with Zion Malik Brown, who was Foolio's cousin. Back in 2017, Zion and 2 of his family members were attacked at their home around 1:30 a.m. on a Saturday.
At this house on Saturday, the teenager tells News4Jax that her family was woken up about 1:30 in the morning Saturday when a brick came crashing through a sliding glass door.
Reports say that the shooter barged into their place and tragedy struck. Zion was at home with his cousin and his sister Taria in their residence on North Rawhide Trail in Jacksonville Cedar Hills Estates. Taria heard a crash at the back door while she was sleeping, immediately recognizing it as a sign of trouble. She quickly woke up Zion, and they both tried to handle the situation in the living room. They attempted to call 911, but before they could get through, the living room turned into a nightmare. The shooter opened fire, leaving Zion in a fight for his life, his cousin injured in the arm and neck, and Taria shot in both legs. The scene was grim, leaving the family devastated.
Today, police said DeAndre Thomas was the shooter. They charged him with murder.
By the time the police arrived, the attacker had already fled. However, identifying him wasn't too difficult since he didn't bother with a mask or gloves. Taria recognized him as DeAndre Thomas, aka Treya Shorty, who was a friend of hers on Facebook and the boyfriend of one of her friends. At just 19 years old, Treya Shorty was known to be close with Yungeen and became the prime suspect in the case. On what seemed like an ordinary Saturday afternoon in June 2014, the life of this promising young artiste was abruptly and violently ended. Not only was this person a well-known gang member and an up-and-coming rap artiste, but he was also a cousin to one notorious gang member known as Lil Durk. The details surrounding Nunu's death were as shocking as they were heartbreaking. It was around 3:20 p.m. when Nunu was sitting in his SUV on the 700 block of East 87th Street in the Chatham neighborhood. Chatham, known for its lively streets and tight-knit community, suddenly became the backdrop for a horrifying scene. As Nunu sat there, someone approached and opened fire, raining a barrage of bullets on him. The SUV, now out of control, crashed into the front of a store in a strip mall at the intersection of 87th and Cottage Grove. The aftermath was chaotic, with police and emergency services racing to the scene. Despite their swift response, it was too late for Nunu. The once vibrant neighborhood was left reeling from the violence, and the loss of a young artist with a bright future was deeply felt by those who knew him. After King Von's tragic death in 2020, Quandarando found himself at the center of constant threats, even though he wasn't directly involved in the violence. Quandarando wasn't backing down though. He dared his enemies to put their threats into action. It seems like they took him up on that challenge. Quandarando has survived 2 serious assassination attempts, managing to escape both times without major injury. The first attempt happened in May 2021. Quandarando and his crew were at a convenience store in Georgia, just a short drive from the nightclub where he had performed the night before. According to reports, gunfire erupted, and one of his entourage members was hit in the hand. It appears the shooter fired from across the road or from the highway. Luckily, Quandarando was in the parking lot when it all went down, so he avoided getting hit.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and
the second attempt was even more tragic. On November 19, 2022, at a gas station in Beverly Grove, Quandarando's entourage was ambushed by several gunmen. Although Quandarando himself wasn't hit, the attack claimed the life of a member of his crew. The victim, later identified as Savannah Robinson, also known as Lul Pob, was rushed to West Hollywood in Quandarando's black SUV. Police officers who arrived at the scene gave him CPR, but despite their efforts, he didn't make it. Video of Quandarando's anguished reaction as they pulled the body out of the car quickly went viral. In contrast, Key Glock's cousin Young Dolph was also a victim of violence, but under different circumstances. Following Young Dolph's murder, Key Glock deleted all his social media accounts. A few weeks later, he resurfaced with a message on his story telling people to stop trying to contact him. Young Dolph's death not only affected Key Glock personally, but also stirred up a lot of discussion online. Key Glock was related to Young Dolph by marriage. Dolph had signed Key Glock to his Paper Route Empire label in 2017, and they teamed up for the collaborative albums Dumb and Dumber in 2019 and Dumb and Dumber 2 in 2021. Just a few days after Dolph's death, Key Glock found the strength to post a heartfelt tribute. He wrote, "Hey, damn bro, I'm lost. My heart is torn, my brain is about to explode. It hurts when I breathe. Why you leave me so soon? I'll never be the same. You were my left-hand man, my brother, my cousin, my mentor, and my drink partner." Young Dolph's murder was tied to his ongoing feud with fellow Memphis rapper Yo Gotti. Their rivalry escalated significantly on March 2, 2016, when Yo Gotti's artist Black Youngsta and his crew showed up in South Memphis's Castalia neighborhood looking for Dolph. This encounter quickly turned violent, and Dolph found himself under gunfire. The beef didn't cool off after that. On February 25, 2017, Dolph was targeted targeted in a shootout in Charlotte, North Carolina, where over 100 shots were fired at his vehicle. Luckily, he was safe thanks to his armored SUV. Then, on September 26, 2017, Dolph faced another shooting, this time in Hollywood. Details were sparse as he was rushed to the hospital, and the LAPD initially named Yo Gotti as a person of interest. However, they later retracted that, saying Yo Gotti wasn't involved. Instead, Yo Gotti associate Corey McClendon was charged with attempted murder, though he was later released without prosecution. Sadly, Dolph's next shooting ended his life, bringing the conflict to a devastating close. Kojak isn't the first rapper to lose a relative in a gang war. And if there's one thing the streets teach us, it's that he might be plotting revenge once he gets out of jail. What is more painful to people like Kojak is the fact that Foolio was not just an ordinary member in the KTA gang. He was the one who made the whole of the group remained relevant. Now that Kojak is getting out of jail, the big question is, will he target ATK and 1200, or would prison have changed him into a different person? Only time will reveal what he's really planning. Thank you for watching.